myself. I heard the whole intro, and I'm going to put myself on mute.
Awesome. Hello, Alex.
Good to see you, Alex.
Good to see you. Taryn, thank you so much for the time. And thanks so much, everyone, for the time today. I'm Ed Park, co-founder and CEO of DevotedHealth, and thanks so much for taking the time to listen to our story. It means the world to us that you take time out of your busy days, because it seems like every day there's just not enough time to get everything done. So it means a ton to us that you take the time to do it. Our mission at Devoted is to dramatically improve the health and lives of American seniors by treating each and every member like they're literally family. We have a prime directive that applies to everyone in the entire company from the board on down. When faced with a difficult decision about a member, close your eyes and imagine that you're making the decision for someone that you love. Then open your eyes, check with compliance to make sure that what you're about to do is compliant and legal, but then do that thing. No other authorization or permission is required. And what would you want for the people that you love? You want the very best care in the world, not average care, not mediocre care, the very best care in the world. And we have a very precise definition of what we mean by that, which is the right care at the right place at the right time. Before starting Devoted, my brother and I started another company, Athena Health. The original mission of Athena was similar to Devoted's mission, but focused on maternal health. The idea was that by taking better care of moms during pregnancy, by providing the right care at the right place at the right time, we could reduce the number of expensive adverse events that occurred after the pregnancy, like NICU days. The product was healthy bouncing babies, healthy moms, happy moms, and everyone wins. And as it turns out, the clinical model was successful. We produced lots of healthy bouncing babies and healthy moms, but the business model was not, for reasons I'd be happy to go into over beer. But it was one of the first times I learned that just because you do the right thing in healthcare doesn't always mean that you'll get paid for it. We then shifted directions, and Athena became an electronic health records company, and that went on to be a smashing success. I took Athena public in 2007, and it was the most successful IPO on the NASDAQ of that year. And I then continued on as a public company executive for nearly a decade. But during that time, I learned a lot more about healthcare in the US and how it both works and does not work. You know, we spend more than twice as much on healthcare as any other developed country in the world and have some of the worst outcomes as measured by things like avoidable deaths and avoidable hospitalizations. The reason that this is true is obvious from space. We spend all of our time and energy and money and resources treating train wrecks after they've happened, and not enough time preventing the train wrecks to begin with. That's the reason we started Devoted. It's to prevent the train wrecks, to invest in the stitch of time that saves time. So I'm just going to take a step back and try to compare healthcare to other industries. Like, do you remember what it was like to get a cup of coffee like 20 or 30 years ago? Like, let's be honest, the coffee was terrible. Folgers was supposed to be the best part of waking up. And the only thing that everyone remembers about McDonald's coffee was the hot coffee that spilled on the woman who won the $1 billion lawsuit. Now, love them or hate them, Starbucks redefined what it means to have a high quality cup of coffee. And now you can have a high quality cup of coffee anywhere in the country. And the same thing has happened to lodging, to retail, and to many other industries. But healthcare remains stuck in the Stone Ages. It's still the case that when you ask a member what medications they're taking, what they actually do is they go off and they'll say, wait a second, and they bring back this giant basket, like a literal basket of medications that has 30 medications in it. And you're like, wait a second, that can't be right, because they keep reading off medication after medication after medication after medication. And then you realize that a third of the bottles are expired and you know something's wrong. But we consider that it's weird that we consider that to be normal. We have a member who was taking 2 different blood pressure lowering medications, one prescribed by the PCP and the other prescribed by a specialist. And she went to the emergency room and the attending said that she nearly died and she was lucky to be alive. Again, like, it's shocking, but at the same time, we have all had stories that feel like that. These are the sorts of things that happen every day in healthcare, and we take this for granted. The whole point of Devoted is to fix this. It's to prevent the train wrecks that we all know are happening every single day. And we know that this is hard to do. It's easier said than done, but that's why it hasn't been done yet. Our goal at Devoted is to work with you and our provider partners to change healthcare the way that Starbucks changed coffee, the way Amazon changed retail, the way Tesla is changing the auto industry. So next slide. To do that, we had to start from a completely clean sheet of paper and redesign what it means to be a Medicare Advantage plan from the ground up. Honestly, we don't think of ourselves as a Medicare Advantage plan. We think of ourselves as an all-in-one health company whose product is not insurance. Our product is care. It's helping our members live happier, longer lives. The Devoted service consists of 5 key ingredients, and I'll go into them in detail as we move through this. Next slide. The first layer of the Devoted 5-layer cake, I like calling it a 5-layer cake because I like cake, I always have. And so the first layer of the Devoted 5-layer cake is the health insurance plan. It's the thing we're known for in the industry. So people have begun to hear about Devoted as a health plan. But one thing I just want to emphasize is that that's not what we thought about doing, right? In fact, I never wanted to be a health insurance executive. I grew up in the cornfields and Bass Ponds of Central Ohio. I spent my entire childhood there. And my heroes at that point were people like John Glenn, the first person to circumnavigate the Earth in a spacecraft, and Dave Thomas, who was the founder of Wendy's and remains my favorite fast food restaurant. He told us the story of Wendy's and his daughter named Wendy and how he started the whole business. Again, my favorite people, solid earth people. And so I grew up thinking about being an astronaut, an entrepreneur, a scientist, stuff that you dream of growing up as a kid. I never wanted to be a health insurance executive because health insurance executives are like the people it's like Mr. Burns in The Simpsons, right? They're the people who everyone is like, I'm going to screw people out of billions of dollars by being evil. Or like they're the people in B movies who get eaten by sharks and everybody cheers. Like it's the last thing that you want to be. Like think about it, like being the CEO of a health insurance company. But I found that that's what I ended up being. And it's important to understand why. The reason why is because from many, many years of experience, I learned that if you don't write the rules on how healthcare is paid for and delivered, you can't decide how you're going to spend it. And if we want to basically spend all of our money and time and effort on building trust and delivering preventive care, then you need to be your own plan, your own source of funding. And so that's why we started the Devoted Health Plan. It's because it was necessary to the rest of what I'm about to tell you. Next slide. The second layer is our own technology and data stack built from scratch that we call Orinoco. The reason this is important is that to deliver world-class service, world-changing service, you need to know the right answer. And getting the right answer is incredibly difficult. Healthcare is 22% of the US economy. We're controlling the healthcare product, you think about it, is the most complicated single product in the history of the world. With one signature, a member is buying 22% of the US economy, which is the largest economy in the history of the known world. And it is an incredible combination of logistics that you have to get through. The doctors, the drugs, the hospitals, everything has to go right. And so we built this from scratch so that we have real-time visibility into literally everything about a member. We can see status of eligibility and authorizations. We can see real-time what drugs they're filling at the pharmacy. We can see real-time when they're being admitted to the hospital. We can see real-time the status of any outstanding cases, and it's all organized in a very, very simple screen. If you look closely at this, you probably can't see it, but it looks a lot like Facebook's timeline, where you have today's date and stuff that happened yesterday and what happened the day before and what happened. And it's important because when a member calls in, they're usually calling about something that happened recently. And being able to precisely answer those questions is important. This longitudinal history of information that all comes together at the same time is also important because it allows us to apply state-of-the-art machine learning algorithms to predict which members are likely to need help. So for example, who's likely to be readmitted to the hospital, who's likely to be non-adherent to their medication, who's likely to fall at home break a hip, which starts a long chain of things that nobody wants, right? If you're going to invest in preventive care, you need to be able to predict what's going to happen next, and that's what Orinoco allows us to do as well. Next slide. The third layer is our guides, which is our secret weapon. This is a collection of amazing individuals who answer the phone 80% of the time in 30 seconds, all in the US. Because Orinoco is so good at answering the basic block and tackle questions, what it allows us is it allows us to hire people who get energy from talking with and helping with people. Our best guys are not insurance company experts. I tried hiring people from cable companies and other insurance companies. They're about the same. They've learned all the wrong ways of answering the phone because they're spending all their time trying to find the right answer, and then they turn out very, very quickly. Our best guides are bartenders, restaurateurs, and other service people who get energy out of helping other people. And Orinoco, our technology and data platform, helps them do it. Next layer, next slide. Our fourth layer is partnerships with medical groups. We know we're trying to do the same thing at the end of the day as the provider groups that we work with. We want to make sure that they have the data and time and resources they need to help our members, and we want to get out of the way. So we pay claims 95% of the time within 5 days, credential 80% of providers within 20 days, process expedited authorizations in 13 hours on average, and much, much more. In a recent survey, providers rated us an 8.8 out of 10 as a partner, which is an unheard of metric as an insurance company. I think we're the first insurance company that members, providers, and brokers actually love. Next slide. And the final layer of a devoted 5-layer cake is Devoted Medical, which is an at-home and telemedical service that partners with our PCPs to provide a special layer of extra wraparound care. If our PCPs don't have time, and many of them don't, like if you've gone to your PCP recently, you usually probably had a 5-minute visit while being in the waiting room for 30 minutes, but the PCP has to go through about 20 members per day, and they don't have time to follow up on everything. Because that's the case, Devoted Medical provides a series of wraparound services, things like medication adherence services, diabetes education services, comprehensive at-home assessments, management of transitions of care out of the hospital, and much, much more. And so these are the things we do to ensure that all of our members consistently get the right care at the right place at the right time. Next slide. The result of starting from a clean sheet of paper and building Devoted with love and care from the ground up has been astonishing. Our Net Promoter Score, which is a measure of customer satisfaction, is a nosebleed 77%. It's on par with legendary brands like Apple, Starbucks, and Tesla. We're the only multi-state plan with 100% of our members in plans that are rated 4 or more stars, which is a huge deal this year, as you know. For our core operations, 95% of our claims are paid within 5 days. 80% of providers are credentialed within 20 days. The average turnaround time is, again, like I talked about that, we process everything as clean as a whistle. But next slide. But really get to this next piece, which is what we're all about. We're all about trust. At the end of the day, this Medicare Advantage is and always will be a business about trust and about people. Because of our relentless focus on service, this is where we shine. Most of our growth comes from word of mouth. Part of the reason, like as you talk with members, they may say things like, "I've never heard about Devoted," right? I haven't heard of them yet. The reason is we don't spend that much money on marketing. We don't spend that much money just like on billboards or the planes that have the little signs on them. We spend all our money on building an amazing product. And that's why word of mouth is the #1 way that we are growing. 62% of our members have referred another Devoted member. I talked to a member who had she put together individualized booklets for her 20 closest friends on why they should join Devoted. I've talked to another member who said that she heard about Devoted at a birthday party because they were talking about how amazing the service was. We think it's our job to provide an amazing service, and that word of mouth in a business that's all about trust is actually the way to grow. We have the best churn rates in the industry. So we keep our members and retain them at unprecedented levels in the industry. And we really shine here. It's really important because that is where the rubber hits the road. Next slide. And like this is actually a piece that is particularly important to me, because we are 100% maniacally focused on a superior service and superior product. We make sure that we really take our time to ensure that you build trust from the inside out. It's not us telling you that, hey, we're doing a great job here. It is that a funny thing happened sort of in the last 5 years since we launched. We found that all of our employees and many of our brokers started putting their own loved ones on the plan. If you talk to all of our employees who have a parent or a loved one in the Devoted market, they put all their parents and loved ones on Devoted. And they say to me, I would have never have done this for the prior plan I worked for, but I know what you guys are doing. And I believe what you're doing. It's not just words. You are, I know that at the end of the day, you're going to take care of our folks. Same thing with brokers. Like brokers in all the places we've been at for any period of time, they start putting themselves on our plan. I looked at the first application that came across the transom for AEP of last year, and it was a broker in Texas who was signing himself up on our plan. It's just what we do. And this means a lot to us because it means for me that it's a sacred obligation that the people are to take care of the people closest to us and the ones that they love. And so that's at a high level who we are and what we're trying to do, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to build something right from the inside out. This is one of the things, if you've ever had a Macintosh computer, Macintosh is, you probably never opened it up, but if you had opened up your Mac, you would see that it was a thing of beauty on the inside. It was just a gorgeous thing. The reason for that is because Steve Jobs' father was a carpenter. And he said to his son, if you're going to do something, do it right from the inside. If you're going to build a cabinet, don't put particle board in the back, because in about 3 years, it'll start flaking and you're going to wish that you hadn't done that. Or if you're going to build a fence, don't put bad wood on the inside, because it's going to look fine for the first couple of years, but then it's going to warp. And then you're going to wish that you hadn't done that. So build it right from the inside. And so that's what they did. That's the reason that Apple has become the world's most valuable company. It's because they built it right from the inside. We took that very much to heart, and I've had enough broken bones in my life from a business perspective to know the truth of it. Everybody here knows the truth of it as well, right? You want to build this right from the inside out. We built every single aspect of Devoted with love and care from the inside out. And that's the reason that we have been growing so fast. It's not because we're amazing at marketing. Look, we're good at all that stuff, right? But we're doing it because we're trying to provide a fundamentally differentiated care and service experience to each and every one of our members, one by one by one by one. Next slide. It's a little hard to understand what this looks like and how it feels. And so to that end, we wanted to just show a quick video of, we go out and talk to our members all the time. Here's one of our members interacting with one of our guides. Okay.
I call Latoya at least once a week just to see how she's doing. Because every time I call her, I'm down a little bit. And when I talk to Latoya, man, I'm back to being happy again. Thank you, Latoya.
Every member service guide has one member that wants to speak with them every time they call. And for me, that's Gloria. She had lost her husband like a year or two prior, and she was just in a down space at that point. I don't really think that she had a immediate need. I think her immediate need was to talk to someone.
We were talking about our moms, and I brought out banana bread. I told her how special it was. That smell would pick you up literally off the ground, and you would float to the kitchen. And you were in heaven because it was always great. And you look back and you wish, oh God, I wish I could be back.
She said, I would do anything just to have that recipe. I don't know where it is. I sent out a recipe, an old-fashioned banana bread recipe. I printed it out and mailed it to her.
Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it is. I feel a whole lot better. You feel like somebody really does care about me. I like that. There's actually respect and courtesy, and I don't see that a lot these days.
She got the recipe, she called me back, and she said, I found my mother's recipe. And I'm like, hey, let me have it. I've been hearing about it so long.
2 cups of well-sifted flour,
1 1/2 cup of sugar,
3 bananas that are ripe,
1/2 cup of buttermilk,
I put in 1/2 cup of applesauce,
1/2 cup of ground walnuts,
gotta have chopped nuts.
bake at 325 for 1 hour. And she said, you know, if you really want to know if a banana bread is really, really good, it has to have a crack on top of it. You know, she said, if there's no crack, it's no good. And she said, yeah, I'm going to get another recipe too. It's going to be for pumpkin bread, and I'll call you back with that one. I was like, please, please call me back for that one.
There she is. How are you doing, dearie? Well, you know what? I've met you. What more can I ask for? Oh, it's good to see you. I feel like you are my family. Different mothers, but what the You have improved my outlook on my life. So that's what, with your help, I've been able to do. Thank you.
So thank you. We look, I mean, I think that what we get energy from at Devoted is creating hundreds of moments just like that every single day. We have a channel where we post stories about members, and multiple times a day, I will read stories about how we've saved a member's life or how we have improved their outlook on their own life. We'll reunite grandparents with estranged sons, and they'll see their grandson for the first time, or we'll have members who were able to walk and they haven't been able to walk for years, or stay home at Christmas, or just it goes on and on and on and on. There's so much of that out there. There's so much to unbreak, and I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time here today. That's who we are. That's who we are. So I'll pass it back to Matt, but just before I say that, I just want to say thank you. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. May the force be with you, and we hope that you'll come grow with us.
Thank
Awesome.
you so much. Thank you.
Great presentation. Thank you. And we are excited to grow. So, and that's definitely Devoted's one of the big hot buttons for MACUSA this year. So that was great. We're excited to share this presentation, and we also got some marketing stuff as well that we'd like to share around. So good stuff.
Awesome. Look, I look forward to seeing you all in person sometime. Unfortunately, I have to jump here, but thank you so much again for the time, and look forward to seeing you in person at some point.
I may be in Boston for the kickoff, Ed. So.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I will see you soon then.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
Thank you,
working on
sir.
it. Yeah. Thanks, Ed. I kind of joke that between listening to Ed and then watching the banana bread video that I'm hungry every time, but I think it's because my wife also makes banana bread. I think she buys bananas to intentionally let them go bad, so then she has an excuse to make banana bread. So I get hungry every time I watch it. So again, like it's just so easy to get behind everything when you hear it directly from Ed, and really for that matter, honestly, from anybody that, you know, gets the privilege to work at Devoted. You know, when I started in insurance almost, you know, 15 years ago, there was really nothing like this that existed. And to get to work here and to help people change their lives and live longer, happier, healthier lives is really a blessing. And you know, when I was a kid growing up, and I would joke with Ed, like, you know, I'm from the real Midwest. He's from Ohio, but I'm from Kansas. Like, that's the middle. You know, my dad had very few lessons for me, but one of them was, you know, well, a few of them, you know, surround yourself with good people and good things will happen. But probably the one that resonated the most was, you know, do something right the first time. You don't have to go back and do it again. And really, with our prime directive, you know, we're doing the right thing, at least trying to, every single time. And it resonates with everybody, with members, with brokers. And so I get the pleasure of talking about some of the exciting things happening, as will Laura and Marissa, but, you know, it doesn't happen without that foundation that's been laid over the last 5 years. So what we're looking at here is the footprint of Devoted Health as it stands right now. So coming into AEP 2023, we were in 5 states, and then we had a very large and exciting expansion into Alabama, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, South Carolina, Colorado, Oregon, and Hawaii. Within our existing state footprint of, you know, Arizona, Texas, Illinois, Ohio, and Florida, we expanded counties. And a lot of our growth, you know, was brokers like you who contributed to, you know, roughly around 45% of all of our success. And so in our current state footprint, we're actually available to about 25%, 1 in 4 of every eligible Medicare beneficiary, right? And so we very much consider ourselves to be a national carrier, right? However, when it comes to the plans that I think at this point, 127 plans across these geographies, right? We intentionally work with, you know, local leaders, providers, when it comes to benefit design, to make sure that what we're putting out there resonates and is going to help people, like I said, live that happier, you know, healthier life. And very soon we'll be releasing a lot of our expansion data and some other exciting stuff, but we'll be adding, you know, another 100 or so counties to the existing 199 counties that we're working on. So lots of really exciting stuff. If you're in an area that is not on this map, you know, we're coming your way. And if we're not there this year, we'll be there soon. So what we're looking at here on this slide is our growth, right? And this is 5 years, right? 5 years to go from I've never heard of Devoted to 130,000 members after this end of the last OEP, right? So 0 to 130,000 in 5 years, right? A lot of that, most of it, can be contributed to, right, the broker buy-in, right? That acceleration that we've seen through, you know, people like yourselves, and being able to create great deep partnerships where we work really closely with agents and agencies, right? And what we see a lot as we enter a market, and there's be other slides that will speak to this, is, you know, year one, we come into a new market and it's kind of like, I don't know, Devoted. I want to make sure that, you know, they do what they say they're going to do, that they're going to stick around. Maybe I'll try 1 or 2, right? I'll sign up 1 or 2 of my clients on one of these new plans, right? So they get through AEP, then they get into January and they get into February. Maybe they start getting, you know, some calls from some of their clients that have been placed with other carriers, and maybe there's complaints, maybe there's issues, and they're looking at it and they're saying, well, everything seems pretty quiet on the Devoted front. I wonder what's going on over there. So maybe they make, the agent makes an outbound call to that client, right? And say, hey, how's everything going? Oh, it's great, right? Devoted already took care of it. Our member service guy, you know, already has called me and talked me through everything, right? I received my welcome packet super fast, all of these things, right? And so this feedback, this loop, right, it continues to grow. And when that consistency is there, right, doing the right thing over and over and over again, that's what's fueling the growth, right? We want to be tested. We want people to call in and see if what we're all about is actually what we're all about. And so then when you look at it, let's say in our 5 states here that we've been in for the longest, Florida, Texas, Ohio, Arizona, and Illinois, right? What you see is consistent growth year over year, right? That's what we're talking about, right? So as you try Devoted, you will see that the service, that the product, they are sustainable, right? We're not trying to enter a new market with some crazy extreme benefits or go in there and buy a market and then a year or two later have to scale it all back, right? That's not sustainable. That's not going to help you grow your business, grow your book of business, right? So what we're going to try to do is to be consistent, right? To be that group that you can rely on in all facets of what you have to do every day, every month, every AEP. And that's going to help both of us, grow together. Again, even in new states, right? These are the states that we launched into this past fall. Again, who's Devoted? Don't know, never heard of it. Like I said, I'd been in Medicare for almost 15 years. I thought I knew everybody out there. I had never heard of Devoted until about a year ago, right? And then I came over to this team, and it's been probably the best career decision I've ever made, right? And I've had a pretty nice run of it, and I can never complain about it. But what I get to do now is so unique with this incredible team of people that I'm surrounded with and with today. This is what happens, right? You look at, we're adding thousands of members in the first 2 months when nobody's even heard of us. So it gets out, right? It speaks for itself. People start to talk. They start to say, hey, have you heard about this Devoted? And then year over year, the membership continues to grow in each market. And considering growth, right, for the second year in a row, we're incredibly excited to be the fastest growing Medicare Advantage plan in the country, right? This is on a percentage basis. And granted, we may have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to this, right? Where we're, a little bit smaller. We're not all 50 states. We don't have, millions of members. If, Humana had grown 40% last year, they would probably have every Medicare beneficiary in the United States, right? But regardless, right, this is consistent growth. 2 years ago, we were kind of a little blurb on this DEF study, right? Devoted's growing fast, but don't quite meet that, minimum threshold for us to put them on this slide. Now we're official, right? We're well over the threshold, 130,000 members in 5 years. And again, the fastest growing. What I think is more exciting really is when you look at this slide. Now we're third on this, but this is a good third, right? This is the actual enrollment growth, okay? And so when you look at ours, third behind Humana and United Healthcare, all 50 states, right? Tons of book of business already. Here we are, right? In actual policy growth, we were third in our 13 states, 8 of which we had not been in prior to October 15th of last year, right? So really, really tremendously exciting trends that we're seeing when it comes to growth. And when you think about growth as well, you got to also remember that growth is not just adding new policies, right? We're able to grow the entire book of business because we also retain that business, right? So it's both of those two things going hand in hand. And that's, again, doing the right thing every time, and it's paying off. And then you get to the stars, right? The stars don't happen without everything that Ed talked about, right? So what we have the, extreme excitement to say is that all of our plan members across our geography, 100% of them are in a plan with a 4-star rating or above. In Ohio, last year was our first year eligible for rating, and we came out and got 5 stars. I think there's probably maybe 2, maybe 3 5-star plans in the state altogether. They've also been in the state. This was our first try, right? So while you might have seen some carriers that have had some issues in this department, right, where the decrease in stars can affect, their compensation, can affect their benefits, all of those things, were 100% of our members in 4 stars or above. And again, a lot of it just comes from that love and the dedication, right? From the agent support to the member support, all of this bubbles up. This all has to happen together. And I'm not going to go through every single one of these stats, right? But the happier your members are, the less you're going to have to hear about it, the more that you can go out and grow your business, right? So 95% of calls answer within 30 seconds, with 95% of calls with a resolution on the first try, right? 87% of calls for the members answered within 30 seconds. Could vary a little bit, in AEP, maybe it's a little bit slower, or OEP, but on average 30 seconds, right? With a 91% resolution rate on the first call, right? Our guardian angels, right? Our service guides, they're not on a timer. This is not efficiency. We are here to solve the issues, to make sure that right care, right place, right time, that happens. We've also expanded out into text, and we have a tremendous amount of interaction and reply with our members. So we're really excited as we've launched into this over the last year, and we will hope to continue to see some exciting growth continue through SMS. And then, this is just a little bit of the expansion of what our technology does, right? Orinoco allows us to drive that experience, right? So and it's not just for the members, but your doctors and the clients, everybody, right? Fast claims processing, specialists paid within 3 days, 90% of the time, right? Blazing fast. Quick authorizations, fair decisions, 100% of our appeal denials were upheld by Medicare, right? Doctors are credentialed 2 weeks on average. And then that all-in-one member profile, like Ed was talking about, allows our guardian angel guides the view of the whole picture to quickly and accurately figure out what's going on and help our members through any situation that they're working through. So with that, I'm going to hand it off here to, I believe, is it Laura? Yeah, Laura's going to take over for a second to talk about the enrollment process. So thank you all.
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt. So yeah, just really quick, a couple things in regards to the enrollment process that we want to share here. The first thing is plan-to-plan changes. You have a member in the middle of the year qualifies for a dual plan, or they want to join a different plan. You don't have to worry about needing to do another application for them and submitting all that work. We actually handle it for you. The member just has to call into 1-800-DEVOTED. One of our telesales representatives will go ahead and do that application, but you will remain the agent of record. So no new commission, of course, generated. It does continue those renewals just like it would even if you did all the paperwork. So it's just a nice, easy way that we offer these plan changes to our agents. You want to go ahead and change to the next page there, Matt? And then another thing is, I know it can definitely be scary and there can be questions and it can be confusing when you're changing your health plan or joining a new health plan. And so one of the first things we do is really try and make sure that we build that connection and that trust. Trust is so important with our members right at the very beginning. And then we continue that trust throughout their relationship with us. But we do send them a text message within 1 to 2 business days of that application being submitted, just saying like, hey, we got it and your application's been approved, as long as it's a clean application. Then within the next day or two, we send them another text message that actually has their ID card on it. So that way, again, you're enrolling someone towards the end of the month. They're like, oh gosh, like I have a doctor's appointment. How am I going to make sure I have everything I need? We text them that digital ID card so that way they can actually right away be able to use that to pick up prescriptions, to be able to go to their doctor's office. And they also get a tracking kit for their welcome kit. I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but another one that's nice is their welcome kit comes in this really nice big package that's hard to miss. It's orange, and it's got all the information they need, including their ID card in there for them. And that comes out 7 to 10 business days after the application has been submitted. And then other ways you can see here that we do continue to text our members, send them information. We really try and make it a nice, easy transition process. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Marissa.
Thanks, Laura. Appreciate it. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I would love to talk to you guys a little bit about how we partner with you and just kind of give you a little sneak peek behind the curtain of how to complete our onboarding certification, and then a couple of the ways that we like to partner with you. So next slide, please. Our broker process, onboarding and certification process is simple. We try to make it as clean and as simple as possible. We know that you have a lot to do, so we try to make it easy and quick. Our yearly certification is every year is released around mid-June, and you can complete it in just a few steps. So you'll be emailed a link by your upline, or if not, we will share this deck so that it could be shared with you all, and you'll have the link readily available where you can click and go ahead and register. Again, you'll create an account if you haven't contracted with us before. If you already contracted with us, you'll just be required to log in using your NPN and password, and then you should be able to complete certification once it launches. And a couple of important things to note is that with this, you only have to complete one training. So that means that for all of our different plan types and all of our markets, you only have to complete one training and exam, which is awesome. You don't have to complete multiple trainings and exams and then just try to upkeep that on your own. Everything's wrapped into one, and it's all available in that same process. Current plan year certification includes previous plan year, if applicable, only in existing devoted health service areas. So what does that mean? As we all know, we're prepping for plan year 2024. So whenever that is released, if you haven't contracted or certified with us before, once you receive a plan year 2024 RTS for a specific state, you will also receive a plan year 2023 ready to sell status for that state in the applicable current service area. So no additional training. You don't have to complete 2 certifications if you're new to us and you decide to certify at that point in time and you happen to run into someone that you think would be a great fit. Again, one complete process gives you both. We do accept AHIP, Pinpoint, and NAHU to meet core trainings, FWA, and compliance. So again, those are the only 3 that are accepted. And we do have a partnership with AHIP, so you can definitely use our link to get a $50 discount at checkout, and it's available through our certification page as needed. Next page, please. What does your certification timeline look like? So this is, again, a very high level overview of what this looks like. So once you've completed all of the processes on your end, we kick things off with a certificate review. So again, once you complete, in this instance, the 2023 Devoted Health Product Training, and then you upload your AHIP, it can take about 24 to 72 hours for us to review it. If for whatever reason your certificate is denied, let's say you uploaded an incorrect AHIP certificate or Pinpoint or NAHU, we will outreach to you and to let you know that it's been rejected, the reason why it was rejected, and then how to resolve. You'll be prompted to return and re-upload the certificate or retake the training if applicable, or you can just send that over to us and then we will take care of that on the back end if it's like an upload issue. We also, at the same time, are also working on confirming your licenses and running your background check, and that can typically take about 3 to 4 business days to complete. Once we've verified all of the different items that have been completed, you'll be, and if you need to be appointed, you'll be appointed in the applicable state, and then you'll be assigned a ready to sell status and receive a confirmation email for each state. So what does that mean is if you choose to sell in all of our 13 states and you click those off as you're going through our certification process, you will receive a ready to sell email for each one of the states, making it easy for you to understand where you're ready to sell and when you're not. And you can also find all of that information in our agent portal. Next slide, please. We're here to support you. So some of the things that our amazing agent support team, and we'll talk a little bit more about them, and we've talked about them, but a little bit about how we support you as agents and the things that you can contact our agent support team on, and some of the things that you can contact our member guides about when it comes to contracting, certification inquiries, enrollment status, MBI, Medicare effective dates, LIS level confirmations, access to our agent portal or navigation, telephonic SOAs or commissions inquiries. These are items that you would contact our agent support about, and our contact information is there. It's that 1-877-764-9446 number. You can always email us at agent-support@devoted.com, or we do also have a ticketing system in our agent portal in which you can go in there, create a ticket, help ticket, and then our agent support team will get back to you. Some of the things that you can contact our member guides about are things like billing inquiries, late enrollment penalty invoices, DME transition or request, member prescription questions. And then for the following couple of items, you do have to have the member on the line to complete the transaction. Things like plan changes, change of PCP, and claim status. Just keep that in mind. And then our member guide number and hours of operation are listed on here, which is the 1-800-338-6833. And that one's pretty easy because it's just 1-800-DEVOTED. So feel free to take a screenshot. Make sure you save those numbers onto your phone because they'll definitely come in handy. Next slide, please. Awesome. And one of the ways that we love to celebrate and partner with you and celebrate you through your wins is through our Star Sellers program. So this is a broker loyalty program that is designed to reward you for all of your hard work and all of your enrollments. The way that this is pretty much set up is that there are 4 tiers, and we'll go over how to unlock those tiers in a little bit below, but it's bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And the tier level is based on the total number of approved applications that are accrued each plan year. A couple of important things to note is that application count is based on effective dates from 1/1 to 12/1 of each year, and then the program does reset every year. But what happens when you achieve one of these tiers is that you'll unlock our broker bucks these will be added to our marketing portal, where you can use it to purchase things such as DevotedHealth swag, sales, marketing materials, and a bunch of other great items. And we'll go through that a bit in the next slide. But the tiers of applications are for bronze, it's from 1 to 10 apps. You get $100 of 100 broker bucks in your marketing portal. For the silver tier, it's from 11 to 30 apps, and you get an additional 200 broker bucks. Gold is 31 to 70 apps, and it's an additional 500. And then our platinum status is 71 apps and above, and that's an additional 1,000 broker bucks in your marketing portal. And you would be surprised at how many agents reach that platinum status with us year over year. Next slide, please. Some of the things that you can use your broker bucks on is whenever you log into our marketing portal. Once you're ready to sell and get that RTS or that ready to sell email confirmation, you'll be granted access to our marketing portal, and you will use your NPN and date of birth to register and access your account. It takes about 24 to 48 hours after you receive that email in order to get access. So just keep that in mind. But what are some of the awesome things that we have in our portal are things like customizable flyers, and you can see some of the pictures here of that creative and what that looks like. Customizable postcards, which have a self-service mailing feature, meaning you can upload a list, you can put in your information, your name, your picture, and your callback number, and you can send a mail campaign through our portal. DevotedHealth swag, and we have things such as like the baseball cap and a bunch of other amazing swag items, and then tabletop material. Marketing materials are always available in both English and Spanish. And again, it is a very easy self-service checkout tool that is awesome. And we have a bunch of items in there that are available to you. So we highly recommend you go in there and check it out. Next slide. All right, with that said, I'm going to turn it back over to Laura. But if you have any questions, suggestions, or anything else, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Marissa. All right, so just going to talk a little bit about some of our plans and benefits. Exciting stuff. Everything's exciting, but we do have a couple different plan flavors to meet the needs of those individuals that you are talking with. And so we do have HMOs in almost all of our markets except Hawaii. And then we have different flavors of HMOs. We have givebacks, we have $0 HMOs, and HMOs with a premium as well. We have PPO plans in most of our markets as well. And then we also have give back PPOs. We have $0 PPOs and also premium PPOs. We also have a couple chronic special needs plans. We have it's called a Group 4 chronic special needs plan in Arizona that covers someone with diabetes, congestive heart failure, or cardiovascular disease. You don't have to have all three. You can just have one, or you could have all three as well. And it's just one plan. We also have diabetic C-SNPs in Texas and Tennessee. And then we also have dual special needs plans in Florida, Colorado, Ohio, and Alabama. And we have one MA only plan in Maricopa and Pinellas County in Arizona. And if you want to go to the next slide there. So a couple of our top benefits that a lot of agents mention are important to their clients when they're speaking with them. The insulin and diabetic supplies. So in Florida, we actually cover insulin on all of our plans at a $0 cost share all the way through the coverage gap. So it's not even a diabetic C-SNP, it's just all of the plans that have that are there in Florida. We also cover diabetic insulin on all of our plans throughout the entire country outside of Florida with a $35 cap. And then in all of our plans and all of our markets, we cover administration supplies at a $0 cost sharing, as well as the Freestyle Libre, the continuous glucose monitor, at no cost on all of our plans as well. On every single one of our plans, we also cover a medical alert device. This is available at no cost. They don't need to have any type of pre-existing condition. And there's lots of different models available to them. We cover the device, the monitoring for them. It's a really nice benefit for the members. And so that image there is a couple of our different models. We have a watch, we have a jewelry pendant, a nice little sidekick as well. Dental, we know dental is really important to our members, and we actually find it to be something we really want to invest in our members, making sure that they are able to take care of their teeth when they are looking to do so. So we do cover preventive dental as well as comprehensive dental on a lot of our plans, including fillings, extractions, dentures, and much more. We do have vendors for this, as well as some of our plans, you'll notice, even offer a debit card for that dental or an allowance. We also have really rich over-the-counter benefits. Our members can use this in-store with CVS. They can use it over the phone with CVS or even online. And honestly, like halfway through the year, the house can start looking like a CVS store. Lots of different options to choose from there. We also have our healthy food cards on more than just our special needs plans. We have it on at least one plan per market. And they can use this healthy food card to buy food at participating grocery stores. They're sent the card with the information on how they use it and what stores do participate. And then we do have low-cost hearing aids. Rather than saying, oh, we cover $1,500 for hearing aids, we instead have a copay. So there's a copay that they pay up front for the hearing aids, and we cover the rest of the cost of the hearing aid for them. There's also lots of different models available for them: inner ear, outer ear, lots of different styles, colors, Bluetooth capability, and so lots of options for them. We additionally cover bathroom safety equipment on all of our plans. They get a standard raised toilet seat or tub seat at no cost to them. And then a lot of other plans do this, but I think the way we do it is different. We do have what's called Devoted Dollars, where it's a rewards program for our members staying healthy. So they actually get a Visa gift card sent to them if they do something to stay preventive. So if they go to see their doctor, if they go to to get their breast cancer screening, colorectal screenings, rather than needing them to go into a portal and fill out that they did this, we instead, when we get the claim, just automatically send that out to them. So our members say that they love it because it's a really nice thing to get in the mail, is a gift card rather than a bill or an explanation of benefits. On most of our plans, we also cover excluded drug coverage. So this includes erectile dysfunction drugs, folic acid, vitamin D, and B12 injections. That's covered through our formulary rather than needing to use OTC for that. And then last but not least, we do cover $150 to $300 on our plans where members can use this benefit to go and purchase things like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, or maybe they want to join Luminosity online or in-home fitness equipment or Weight Watchers, and we'll reimburse them between $150 to $300 depending on the plan. So I know you're not going to memorize everything we've told you today, so I think resources is one of the most important things that people know. And so we do have a couple great resources for you. We have our agent portal. This is a really nice one-stop shop. It has our plan information on there. It has learning information on there, training information on there. It also is where you can do applications. You can do skip-up appointments. You can see commissions. You can put in events, so a lot of great tools in there. We also just have our Devoted website, and there's a broker section of our Devoted website, and that has some how-to videos. So if you're not quite sure how to use that agent portal or how to use our provider lookup tool, the provider lookup tool, real nice and simple. I've used many different provider lookup tools. I definitely love the Devoted one. We also have our marketing portal. This is where you can get some swag or flyers and materials. We have English and Spanish. We have print versions, electronic versions, so lots of different options in there for you. And then our Learning Center as well, where we do other trainings. So in summary, I know, again, we gave you a lot of information, just a couple of things to kind of summarize here. We're the fastest growing Medicare Advantage plan in the country for the last 2 years in a row. We are now in 13 states, and we're available to 1 in every 4 Medicare Advantage enrollees. Again, like our members, it is amazing. We love them. They love us back. 60% of them have referred actually other members to us. We also have a really nice, easy onboarding process and tools and marketing materials to help you as you sell. And we really are focused on serving you. We're focused on serving our clients and really giving our clients this all-in-one healthcare rather than just a Medicare Advantage plan. And that's everything I've got. And sorry, my Slack notifications were going off like crazy there, so I should have turned them off. But that's everything I have.
We just hope you didn't get a head injury by whatever was flying around.
My kids got off the bus from school, so I was like, oh gosh, here we go.
It is totally fine. We're all moms on here. Well, there's some dads too, but we get it.
Thanks.
Okay, well, Taryn and Paul and Alex and everybody on the call, thank you very much for joining us today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're here to help you. We appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to working together.
Yes, and agents, just so you know, I put the senior contracting email in the chat, or you can feel free to email Paul or I, and we'll get you contracted with Devoted. And don't be surprised if the call center calls you, because we're really going to get everybody ramped up and contracted before we get to AEP with Devoted.
We love it.
Yes. Just wanted to give a heads up to the agents. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I just want to say that I myself personally contracted with Devoted, and I really look forward to their contracting process, their certification. They take you all back through this again, and I think it's a very slick portal. Also, if you're using Sunfire Matrix, unfortunately, you won't be able to use Devoted to enroll on Sunfire Matrix, but you'll still be able to see all of the provider networks and be able to compare them along with all the other carriers that you're using. And just go to their Slick Agent portal, and it works as well as they say. I've called Devoted as an agent a few times myself, and again, what they say is true. You're not waiting around on the phone. Type in a whole bunch of numbers. A real person talks to you. very refreshing. Something that you experience with a lot of carriers.
Thank you, Paul.
Well, all right.
Thank you, Paul. Well, guys, thank you for attending, and we look forward to growing with you, Devoted. Thank you so much for your time.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye, guys.